Using branches in your development to simultaneously work on different bugs or different features at the same time is one of the easiest ways that you can improve your development workflow. It makes it so that you can work on one bug and maybe not finish it, and then switch over and work on something else completely unrelated, but in the same project. And so you can have multiple versions of the same bug fix or the same feature going at the same time. And it makes it a lot easier so that you don't have to constantly, or so that you're not always working on one feature until you finish it, then switch to something else. You can switch back and forth without having to worry about being done. Git branches are really pretty simple to work with, it's really just kind of a mentality that you have to get into, a mindset, and you get familiar with how they work and how you use them. So I want to show you quickly how I do it. This is not necessarily the best way or the only way to do it. It's just a way that I found that works really, really well. So first of all, let's say that we have a bug that we're going to work on. So I'm going to show you a real project that I have, which is this Affiliate WP plugin for WordPress. And we have a suggestion here that anytime that we install the plugin, we want to potentially automatically register the admin user as an affiliate. Okay, that's fine. So let's say that I decide to go ahead and work on this. So first of all, we have a master branch. And if we do a git status, we say that currently we are on our master branch. Now, one thing that you should always, that at least I think you should do anytime that you're working on a new bug or a new feature, is you should always work from a separate branch. So don't work directly in master. So I'm going to work on this bug. So I'm going to look at this and I say this is issue 425. So I'm going to go create a new branch. Git checkout -b issue/425. So I've named my branch issue/425 because that tells me exactly what this branch is for. So if I come back at a later time and I decide to work on this feature again, I don't have to go through and hunt down a bunch of different branches and figure out what it was. I could have named it something like admin auto register, but that might be harder to remember. And if I come back 2 weeks later, I may not remember that. So if you always name it issue/425 or have some sort of naming scheme like that, it makes things really easy to remember. Okay, so now I am on this branch, and you can see that if we type git status on branch issue 425. So now let's go make some changes. And in this case, we're going to go modify our install file and auto create an affiliate account for the admin. Now, I'm not going to write the actual code to do it right now because that would take too long, and I'm just trying to show you an example. But let's say I started it there. Now let's go ahead and commit it. So git commit start on auto registering admin as affiliate. Now this is a pretty lousy commit because it's nothing more than a comment, but that's okay. This is just for demonstration purposes. So I commit it. Now let's say, okay, I want to change gears and I want to go work on a different issue. So let's go find an issue, and let's say I want to go fix this conflict right here. So there's another plugin that happens to cause a conflict when you log in as an affiliate. So I'm going to go fix that instead. But I don't want to have a conflict between the changes I've made for the auto registration and the new bug that I'm trying to fix. So what I can do is say git checkout master. So now I'm back on my master branch. Now, remember, we want to create a branch for each bug or each feature that we work on. So we say git checkout issue / and the issue number in this case is 415. So I'm going to say 415. And now, oops, we have to do git checkout -b. Now, if we go back and look at install, you'll see that that comment that I put in there that I committed a moment ago is no longer there. It's because I'm on a different branch. Now, one thing that's really important here is the step where I checked out master. So anytime that you do git checkout -b issue / number, whatever your branch name is, it's going to create a new branch based on what your current branch is. So if I was on the branch for the auto registration bug, and then I typed git checkout -b, it would create a new branch based off of that branch. So it's really important that you check out master or whatever your default branch is first. So I checked out master, then I created my new branch. Now I can go in here and I can fix this bug. I don't know where it is. I'm not going to worry about that right now. For example, it might be in clash register, and I would fix it. I'd make my changes. I would commit. Then I could push it up to the server. which would just be git push origin issue slash whatever the issue number is, 415. Now at any time, I can come back and work on this branch. Or I can go back to master. And now I want to go back to my other bug. So I fixed the Peter's login redirect issue. I'm going to go back to auto registration. So I say git checkout issue slash 425. Go back to install. And there's my code that I had started on earlier. It's not finished, but we can see that it started. So now I can make my changes, I can commit them, and I can push them back up to origin. And there we go. Now, when I'm ready to merge these changes into master, I could go to GitHub and I could just commit, or I could create a pull request very easily to go from issue 425 into master, or I could do this. I could git checkout master, git merge issue slash 425, and that's it. I would be done. And then I could delete the issue 425 branch if I wanted. Using branches to improve your workflow is a really great thing that you can do. That's going to make it a lot easier. The biggest advantage is that it lets you work on different things simultaneously without worrying about potential conflicts coming in when you've worked on two different features at the same time or two different bugs. It really helps permit or prevent accidentally deploying non-finished code. Because let's say I'm working on here on the auto registration bug and I'm working on master. So I'm in the master branch, I start making some changes, I commit them, and then I keep a mental note that says, oh, this isn't actually done. I then forget about it and I deploy master to, I deployed it out to users. I've accidentally committed unfinished code because I forgot that I hadn't finished my bug fix yet, and I was doing it directly in master. So by doing it in a separate branch, you can make sure that master, or whatever your default branch is, always stays clean. So one of the ideas that I like to keep in mind is that master is always stable. Master never has unfinished code in it. So if you have to do a bug fix or a feature enhancement that isn't going to be immediately finished right then, like it's not a one-line fix or a typo or something like that, do it in a branch. Create a new branch for that feature or that bug because you don't want to risk having unfinished code in master. Master should be stable at all times. So as long as you do your development for your individual features and your bugs in a different branch, you can know that master is safe. So if you have to push out a hotfix suddenly, you don't have to worry about there potentially being unfinished code in there. It's always safe. So branches are really, really handy. They're really pretty simple once you get used to them. It's just a couple of things you need to remember. Number one is always base your branches off of your default branch or off of whichever branch you want to be the base. So if you're working on a release, for example, you might have a branch called release 1.3. So if you want to create a new branch that's based off of that, you could then go git checkout -b issue /515 or 512. And now that branch would have everything that's in release 1.3. And so then once you're done with 512, you can merge it back into release 1.3. So always remember to check out your branches or create your branches based off of the one that you want it to be similar to. Number two, always use a branch for bug fixes and feature enhancements that are not going to be done right then. Always leave master stable and always assume that it's safe, or make sure that you can assume that master is safe. And that's it. Branches are pretty awesome. Start using them.